My name is Jane Shodel. I'm the lead programmer for Special Presentations. Hello. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the world premiere screening of All of You, directed by William Bridges and written by William Bridges and Goldstein. A sincere thank you to our presenting sponsor, Rogers, and our major sponsors, RBC and Visa, for their continued support. We would like to thank our government supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto. The Special Presentations program is made possible through the generous sponsorship of TikTok. This film is eligible for the People's Choice Award presented by Rogers. Vote for your favorite films at tiff.net/vote. And we would like to thank MRC for providing us with this film. Thank you very much. All of You is a most auspicious directorial feature debut for Bridges, a director and a screenwriter best known for writing an Emmy Award-winning episode of the Black Mirror series and creating the television series Soulmates. This imaginative skill is evident in every frame of today's film, a story set in the near future that places a technological algorithm against the human heart. I love this film from the moment I saw it, not least because of its inventive structure around the passage of time and its deeply affecting performances, but because it reminded me of how ephemeral true love can be, how it is a magical, alchemical thing that can break us and burn bright in the same moment. The story is brought to life by superb performances by its two leads, played by the luminous, award-winning Imogen Poots, and the Emmy and SAG Award-winning actor and writer, Goldstein. We are very pleased to have an opportunity after the screening to have an on-stage conversation with our guests, but please join me in welcoming to Toronto, director William Bridges.
Wow, this is like an anxiety dream I had once. I just wanted to give a little bit of kind of background on how we got to making the film. I've known Brett for probably 15, maybe 20 years now, and we met as writers on another movie that was also a romantic comedy. And when you are a writing partner with someone and you are talking about relationships, you have to talk about your own relationships to get something meaningful. And we were talking about our relationships, and I've now been with my wife for 25 years, and at the time Brett was single. Thank you. She's not here, but she'll appreciate it. And he was asking me if she was the one. And the idea just came out of that question. It was like, well, what if you could know who the one was? What if there was a test you could take and find out who your soulmate was? And the idea kind of started unpacking itself in that conversation over the case of about 30 minutes. We'd kind of come up with this idea for a short film. Two friends walking down the street, one's paying for the others to take the test. And that became a short film script that we wrote within 2 weeks. We went out and filmed it the next week. And like within a month, we had a short film that was 10 minutes long. And that short film is the template for the beginning of this movie. And for the 15 years after making that short film, we worked on other stuff together, and we always came back to talking about those characters and that relationship and what else there would be. And at some point, we decided to stop talking about it and just write it. And we wrote it as a movie. And then Brett got famous, which helped, and we're here. So we did. I'd just like to also bring out to say hello the two stars of the movie, Brett Goldstein and Imogen.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. This is fucking amazing. I thought there was going to be like 10 of you. What? I just want to say, this is like Will and I's baby, this film, and it's a real labour of love, so it means a lot to be able to premiere it in Toronto, where the good people are. And it's very, very special for us. And I want to just thank the partners that we've had on this film, Brian Jonathan at MRC, and Aaron Ryder and Andrew Sweat, our producers. They've been amazing. And thank you to Imogen, because Will and I knew each other forever. Imogen and I had never met, and instantly we felt like old friends, and I'm very grateful for you for doing this.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you for being here. We hope you love it.
We like you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. It's great, is it not? So, in the interest of time, we're going to do sort of a hybrid thing here. We're going to have some onstage conversation, and then we're going to be able to take a couple of questions from the audience. If you do have a question, please keep it brief, speak loudly, but I will repeat it for the benefit of everyone that's here. And I ask respectfully that you keep your questions to the film we have just seen. So please join me in welcoming and congratulating Director William Bridges.
And I'm going to bring out the two leads, Brett Goldstein and Imogen Poots.
Don't make us cry. Thank you, everyone. It was very kind of you. I'm going to not talk.
Yes, sir. So I did want to start with you, Imogen, and then perhaps speak with you, Brad. The thing I'm so impressed with about this film, and there's so many things to be impressed with, is your ease and comfort together on the screen from the very first frame. We believe it immediately that you've been friends forever, and I'm just wondering, did you rehearse? I know this is an independent film, there's not a lot of time. Can you speak a little bit about how that came to be?
I think it came to be, we did have a little bit of rehearsal. We had about a week just sort of hanging out and working through the script together. And it was in that time that I realised with these two lovely gentlemen that I was completely trusted with the material, which is actually quite a rare thing to come across, unfortunately. And it was just a very free space, and I was my input was valued, and my opinions and all that stuff. So it created a working environment where it was incredibly loose and trusting. I think with Brett and I specifically, I don't know what that is. It's a sort of mystifying thing about being a human being, and if you're lucky enough to meet someone else who sort of is an emotional tennis player in that way, then your job is made incredibly easy and you're just present together.
It's a bit what the film's about, isn't it?
Basically, yeah.
And you had it.
I mean, the truth is, you know, we knew this film lives or dies on what's going on between the two characters, and we met with a lot of people, and then I Zoomed with Imogen, and 5 minutes into it, I was like, oh, I feel like we've been old friends, I feel like I've known you forever. And I immediately called Will afterwards, and I was like, it's Imogen, it's fucking Imogen. And then...
Well, not whilst you were Zooming.
Yeah.
Not 5 minutes into this.
I muted it.
Yeah.
No spoilers. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of also, Imogen's, you know, you've just seen it. She's a fucking incredible actor, and but she's also what this film needed. Like, it's us. She was there for me. I was there for her. It's a pure trusted her completely. We were vulnerable. It was all that shit.
All right, then. William, I wanted to ask you that this film uses time in a very interesting way, the way that it tells the story. Sometimes there's great leaps forwards, and other times, you know, there's increments, but it hits all the important moments. And I'm wondering, right from the beginning, as you spoke about in your introduction, did you envision telling the story that way, or did it evolve?
I think it evolved, really. From our conversations, we just talked about their relationship through milestones in their life. Like, what would happen when one of them gets married? What would happen when one of them has a kid or a parent dies? Things that we all go through to a degree. And I think the structure just became born out of those, like, what were the best moments in their lives to document? And then the time structure just became one of those things. And then it was a case of, how do you express that in a way that feels kind of fun for the audience to work out? Like, oh, where are they now? What's going on? And to give them clues in the previous scene and then finish the clues off in the following scene, that became the challenge.
Imogen, if I can go back to you, one of the moments that really struck me the most in your character's arc, if you will, was when she tells Simon about discovering that box of letters after her father dies. And it felt like such a revelation for your character. It almost felt like it was the moment she realized that she was that woman in the letter. Can you speak about that a bit? That time for your character?
Yeah, I suppose the beauty of the story is you see the two characters' relationship at these very sort of huge junctures of their lives, and losses and gains, and that's the kind of, I think that's the unique nature of this film, is that it's not the interstitial mundane, it's actually quite like high stakes moments. So I suppose that gives them an opportunity to reflect on where they are in their lives. But I agree with you, that is a moment where she puts two and two together, and it all starts to hit in a way that she can't handle anymore. But I suppose it's just that kind of, you start to realise that this is your one and only life, and that's incredibly, it's quite an intense reckoning, that scene, yeah.
Brett, there's the moment when you break it off with her is quite heartbreaking, because it seems like an act of survival. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Well, I think there are things in the film that, like, is sort of up to the viewer, but, like, there's an argument that this relationship, that this affair suits them, that, like, you know what I mean, that maybe it is, there's the fear that she has where it's like, you couldn't handle the rest of it, like, it's always a holiday when it's the two of them. And, but I think as it goes on, he's right when he says, you're like heroin, he's addicted to her, and he can't. And I think you see the scene with Jenna Coleman, and it's like, there are other options that are sensible. She seems lovely, like, he could have a lovely life, but he keeps going back because he can't help it. So in the end, he has to go, otherwise he'll die.
Well, it's what Andrea says in the beginning. What is it with you two?
Yeah.
William, there's some pretty potent musical choices in this film. Can you talk about how you searched through the music? Song first, scene first?
How did we do it? Temp first,
yes.
temp music first, and then I think it was, I think probably it came second. The scene came first, getting everything across there, and then finding ways to work music. Sometimes they just come like, oh, let's bring the bar music up and have that become the soundtrack through the next scene. That wasn't by design, we didn't write that. That happened quite late on in the edit process. But there are lovely moments when that happens, when it just comes to you and you go, oh, let's just try that. And then it just feels like it was an idea that's been there forever. It wasn't.
We have time for one or two questions from the audience. Here. Up there. All right, go ahead.
You guys were fantastic. I'm curious to know if you played along the idea of what might happen next. Did you guys investigate that?
Okay, so she's saying, you two are fantastic. Have any of you played with the idea of what happens next?
Yes. That's all. Like it's up to you. You can have your own dream of work. And we have our own dream of it, but let's not take away from your dream of it.
No, we talked about that one for 15 years.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, time for one more. Go ahead, please.
It was beautifully crafted, your storyline. It was so intense, and I apologize, I'm a therapist and social worker, and I'm so interested in your craft of the two of you co-writing. There were so many emotional moments. Did you have any creative differences, and how did you get through them? It's wonderful and it's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
She's complimenting the craft on the stage, the writing, or the screen, all of the pieces that go together. And she's wondering, in terms of your process, did you have any creative differences, or was it smooth sailing?
We learned over years that we're pretty good together, me and Will, because we fill, I mean, that sounds rude, we fill each other's holes. We don't. That's what all creative partnerships should be. I think.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Anything to add?
You know, we fill each other's holes. I think it's about. It was never an argument. It's always in the interest of trying to make things better. So no idea is a bad idea when that happens. It's always a discussion. And I think when it comes to doing drafts of the script, Brett would do a pass, hand it to me, I would make a change, hand it back, he would change it back, send it to me, and then I would change it back and send it to him, and then he would call me up and go, why do you keep changing that? And I was like, because of this, and then we'd have that conversation. But we'd always find a place of like, oh yeah, that's better. So I think it's just having trust in the other person that they want the same thing, they just want it to be as good as it can be.
I'll tell you a really good example of where Will is brilliant. In the script, you know, when we're in the hotel bar for the first time we're officially having an affair, and we're in the bar, and then in the script we have that whole chat, and then it cut to us in bed, and it was just gonna like hard cut like in a movie to a sex scene, and Will was like, we should see the awkward bit, like how did they get there? Like I want to see them undress, like all those details. I think sort of make it feel special in a way that you haven't seen, but that's all.
That was my note, I want to see them undress.
Yeah. We're a very special part of the show.
Well, on that note, I want to congratulate the three of you on making something wonderful and special, and I hope you go make more wonderful, special things and bring them back here to us.
Thank you so much.
Please join me.